I'm Beth Graves, and thank you for joining us on the Circus Arts Spotlight. Each week, we'll shine the spotlight on the people, programs, and events of the Circus Arts Conservatory. In addition to professional and student youth performances, you'll explore incredible outreach programs and learn how the circus arts impact so many aspects of life. For more information on today's topic or anything circus arts related, please go to our website, circusarts.org. That's circusarts.org. Let's get started. Hi, today we're going to be speaking with ANDRES Leon Miller, who is a man of many talents. He's a graduate student of the Sailor Circus Academy, and performance is in his blood. ANDRES has a passion for and an understanding of the circus and shares his enthusiasm with all of the students that he coaches. He's going to speak about how the circus has affected his life and how you, too, can fly through the air with the greatest of ease with his help. So hi, ANDRES. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
So can you tell us a bit about your background with Sailor Circus?
Yeah, Sailor Circus for me started in 1996. I was in sixth grade. I was also playing baseball and football at the same time, but I really enjoyed circus more. Up until eighth grade, I took a year off, and something just wasn't right, and so I joined again and felt whole again. So I finished Sailor Circus my senior year of high school, and since then have volunteered for the program or organization, have gotten career opportunities out of it, and now I came back to work for Sailor Circus.
So what were some of the acts that you originally learned when you were a child?
Definitely the the middle school recital, or middle school productions we call them. So it was triple trap, rollabola. I think towards the end of seventh or eighth grade we learned how to do web.
So most people are not going to know what the rollabola is. Can you give a little description of that?
Yeah, certainly. It's a balancing act. So you're on a cylinder, an aluminum cylinder, and then there's a plank on top, and you kind of surf back and forth to keep your balance. And in that act, you're able to, if you get good enough at balancing, pick other people up, have them on your shoulders. It was adagio rollabola, rollabola adagio is what they called it. But it was a lot of fun. It taught me a lot about balance, taught me how to kind of not only balance for myself, but when I had someone on my shoulders, it kind of upped the responsibility of the act and made it really fun.
And actually what you're just describing is something that was very popular within the last couple of years for people trying to get into shape.
For sure, yeah. So I forget what they're called, but I've seen them. They're those balance boards that people just have to engage their core, stand still, and it's almost like a form of meditation when they get really good at it. But yeah, we did it as kids for fun.
And then what is the web?
The Spanish web is it's a rope that has a sheath around it, so it's smooth. There's a hand loop at the top, and it's usually about 30 feet long. There's a spinner at the bottom or a base, and then there's a flyer at the top who does acrobatic aerial type tricks with either the hand in the loop or the foot in the loop and spun around to maybe a certain speed where the flyer actually looks almost flat or in like a really cool angle. So it's a very traditional circus act, but we learned it from an early age so we could actually do production numbers as we got older.
So that's what you did in middle school. What
Yes.
happened when you became a high school student?
High school kind of upped the ante a little bit. I wasn't doing as many balancing acts. I mean, I did unicycle as well in middle school, but I stopped doing that in high school and kind of focused more on strength acts or being a base because, like my growth spurt happened, and that's what I kind of like about circus. It's very black and white. I was not the smallest of kids, so I was usually at the bottom of two or three people in a pyramid or a tower of people. And so I love catching people off the teeter board, which is a giant catapult. So people are launched in the air and they do flips and I catch them. That was a lot of fun for me. I also got to, be in aerial acts, but more as like a base in an aerial act. So 2-lane cradle where I hang by my knees and spin a girl in a hand loop. Then around sophomore year, I got introduced to flying trapeze, and it was a game changer for me. I mean, it was neat because I could still do the strength part of it because I was a catcher, but it was also an introduction to something that I've always seen the older kids do that I really, really wanted to try one day.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a lot of fun.
So then you graduated from high school.
Yep. Graduated in 2003.
And so did you think you were going to go back into circus, or what were your plans when you graduated from Sailor Circus Academy?
I mean, the funny thing, like just amongst the students, is that we spent so much time there that like, as soon as I get out, there's no way I'm going to be right back in the building. But as soon as you graduate, you usually want to come back because you don't know what to do with yourself now. You've been there so many hours, so many days that, the first season you're out of the building, you're kind of like, you yearn to be back in the arena. But after high school, I continued on with my education and kind of here and there visited circus, volunteered some hours and things like that. But then when I made a big move in my life, that's when I really saw what circus had taught me.
So when you were going back for a minute to high school and middle school, how many hours on average would you think that you spent in the arena?
I remember middle school, we had been there so long that they'd actually started doing like family dinners. Like kids would be there like 8, 9 o'clock at night, so we'd all kind of eat as a group. That kind of went away when I was in high school, but we still spent quite a bit of hours there, but I just got there earlier. So right after high school, get out at 1:45, I'd be at the arena by 2:30, wouldn't get out till about 8:30, so 6 hours a day, sometimes on Saturday.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
And were you able to get your homework done?
If anyone asks, yes. No, I didn't. It was a requirement while we were in the program to, maintain a certain GPA. So that was another kind of element of your dedication, your responsibility in the program.
And so for those people that are not familiar with the Sailor Circus Academy, when we talk about the arena is a building that was made specifically for circus training. And if you had heard our earlier show, it just went through a $4.5 million update, basically.
Yeah.
It has air conditioning for the very first time. So can you talk about the difference that the air conditioning has made as a performer? What was it like before, and how has it changed now?
Training can go a little longer, for sure. It's funny, the complaints are different now when it's it's a climate control type of air conditioning thing. So when people walk in like, oh, it's so cold, I'm like, I've never heard that in this arena before. So it's nice. It definitely helps with the how long you can practice, and for like show days. When show days, there's 2,000 plus people in the building. It creates a lot of body, creates a lot of heat. So when there's people in the building or people out of the building, it's a comfortable place to perform and train in.
And so when you trained previously to the air conditioning, you use a lot of chalk or whatever.
You know what? It's funny. I didn't really get introduced to chalk until when I started teaching outside of the high school years. We used a lot of rosin, which is tree sap. It's amber. It's like they chunk off pieces of tree sap, and it creates a sticky powder. We used a lot of towels, lots of towels. But yeah, chalk does help though. Once I learned about what it does, it wicks all the moisture out, and it can be a little messy sometimes, but it creates really good grip.
So now you don't have to worry as much about slipping.
No, not at all. No, I mean, kids still break a sweat in there, but it takes a little longer.
So now that you are an adult,
mm-hmm. Some will say.
What do you do? What is your role here at the Circus Arts Conservatory?
Not everything. I'm here a lot because I teach the magnet students in the magnet program we have going through Sarasota High School now. I'm here Monday through Friday. I've just recently kind of bargained to get a Wednesday off here and there, but it's Wednesday today, so. But no, I teach the magnet kids Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 2:15 p.m., and then I coach acts from, I would say, 4:15 to about 8 o'clock. And then we have our public classes as well throughout the week. So I'm teaching public classes, teaching students, whatever needs to be done as far as rigging goes, repairs, here and there with certain equipment. So coach, instructor, repair guy.
So when you say you're teaching kids and you're coaching them, what are the acts that you are currently coaching?
Right now I'm coaching teeterboard. I'm coaching public flying trapeze classes, which includes all ages, so adults and kids. And I'm also kind of training the kids in the magnet program how to prevent injuries through stretching and proper workouts to stay in shape. And so I'd say physical fitness, teeterboard for right now, and public trapeze.
Okay. So the magnet program, Pedro Reyes, who was on previously, spoke somewhat about as a partnership between Sarasota High School and the Circus Arts Conservatory.
Mm-hmm.
And you as a teacher, can you talk about what a typical day is like in that magnet program right now?
Oh, yeah. So we meet the kids at school, walk them over to the arena, which is really neat. So in the middle of the day, they have a chance to be in there. Right now, it's a Sailor Circus Kids, so it's a space they're really familiar with. But they kind of see a different side of it. They're used to training and doing all these circus things, but they get to see how to stretch and prepare your body for these acts that are very strenuous activities, and then also how to maintain it. So they're learning a whole physical fitness side of it. And although I'm not a nutritionist, I tend to bring that in a little bit because kids are eating kind of funny things throughout the day, Cheez-Its and whatever. But it's a fun way to kind of show the kids another side of circus that they don't get to see as much during their practice hours. So it's really rewarding in that.
Okay, and this is a 4-year certificate program that children, when they graduate high school, will have this additional certificate saying that they finished this program.
Yeah, so this is just the beginning of it too. This is just the first semester we've ever done with it. So it's mostly we're going over basics a lot right now. Rigging, of course, for safety. Again, the physical side of it. And then as the program progresses, by the end of the 4-year mark, they'll be able to have a professional portfolio of how they can maybe market their act if they want to be professional circus performers. If not, they at least have the skills to know the ins and outs of the business, and definitely learn a lot about their equipment and how to maintain it.
Okay, wonderful. So you had also mentioned the community classes, and I happen to know about the flying trapeze class the best because that's the one I've watched you do the most often.
Yes.
Can you talk about the different people that take the classes and how people react, and then what a typical class is like?
Yeah, certainly. It's an array of different people from I'd say 5 to 75. I've flown an 80-year-old on there, but not recently. But it's every type of person, advanced, beginner, intermediate, and we start off the class with a stretch. We teach you the ground level type stuff, how to actually take off the platform properly, and then we actually teach you how to fly. And if timing is right and your trick is good, by the end of class we will have a catcher on the other side of the trapeze catching you.
So what that means is the catcher is actually on a different trapeze. It's just like you've seen at the circus where there's two different people and the one person flies off of their trapeze bar and the catcher basically catches them.
Yes.
So, and I know how important safety is to everyone. So can you explain the safety measures that are taken if you're going to take this class?
Absolutely. Yes, there's always a net. I've never seen a trapeze without a net, so don't worry there. There is a safety device that helps you climb the ladder safely. You're connected while you're climbing. When you get to the platform, the instructor will actually connect you to the platform itself. While you're getting your safety lines in, you're still connected to the platform. You always have a safety device on you. You're never kind of just let to, do your own thing up there. We're very step by step as far as everyone is always watching you and has a hand on the flyer. And the double line system really keeps them from falling to the net, just floating down.
So how high up is the platform?
I'd say anywhere between 23 to 26 feet. You're standing there, so 6 foot tall person, they're going to be around like 30, 28 feet up. So it's a good ways up there.
And who do you think is more apt to just get up there and fly off? Is it going to be the younger kids? Is it going to be the older people?
It's a good mix, but I can definitely see a lot more younger kids being a little bit more free or more amped to go just jump off a platform. Adults tend to know about the dangers of jumping off of high things. Yeah.
And what about going up the ladder? Does anybody ever look at the ladder and say, no, there's no way I'm going to go up that?
Absolutely. We've had students come to 2 or 3 classes that just climb the ladder or don't, and they just look at it like, I'll be back. I'm going to try again. I'm going to try again. And that's the funny thing. People get really determined when they're introduced to this activity.
Yeah. So, and then how many people do you think, on average, are able to make a catch at the first class?
It varies, but I would say 6 out of 10.
Wow.
That's 7 out of 10. But there's always a few people that just maybe need another lesson, and that's what we try to go over in the beginning. This is trapeze. It's not checkers. Make sure to kind of cushion your ego as you come into the activity, but we try to make it fun as well as safe.
So, and the other thing is, once people actually do fly on the trapeze, how do they get off the trapeze? Do they just explain about that? Okay,
so everything in trapeze has to do with timing. So of course the instructor is calling things out to you while you're swinging through the air, and there will be a command. And in trapeze we always say hup. So we'll usually say ready, hup, to let you know when to let go of the bar. We never say go in trapeze. It's just too close to no. We don't want to say that. So when they land in the net safely and slowly, they never fall. They just float down. We teach them how to actually lay on the side of the net and hold the side of the net and roll out to an instructor that's standing on a mat waiting for them.
So, and that looks really fun in and of itself.
Yeah, and that's sometimes the hard part too. Like the ladders, people say is like the hardest part, and rolling out definitely takes a few more minutes.
And then you also said when you say hup, the people sort of float down.
Yes.
That's because, if you can explain the way the lines are attached to the people, that you are basically supporting them.
Yes. So the lines are connected at either side of your waist, so they're in a harness with huge steel rings on the side. The safety lines are clipped in. And then once they actually let go, the instructor always has slack out of the line, so they don't just fall to the net. And then, it's a nice, easy, slow float down.
And what's funny is I don't think some people expect that. They expect
No. And they always, we have students that fly out of lines now, but that's, maybe years, maybe months of training of how to fall properly. And that's the biggest requirement we have to not have safety lines on. I don't care how good your trick looks, but if you don't fall properly, your safety lines stay on indefinitely.
Okay. So, and then there are other classes that you might not coach, but that are available at the Circus Arts Conservatory.
Yes.
So do you want to tell us a little bit about what's offered?
Yeah, we offer aerial silks classes, both beginner and advanced. We also offer a youth sampler class for the young ones who just want to try something. We have 2 different age groups too. So there's the youngers, which I think is anywhere between 4 and 7, and then we have an older group, which believe is from 8 to 15 or 14. So we have a youth sampler class so the kids can try a little bit of everything.